Well, today's event was all about the young people finding their voices to make it known to politicians what needs to be done and what their views are on the environment and the climate crisis that faces us.
I want to ask, what is the plan around Lough Neagh, like in government, like what legislation is being passed to deal with the crisis there? And also want to ask, what is your opinion on the role of religion in the climate crisis? So, like, what's your personal opinion on that?
Well, I think today's event is really important in terms of bringing young people together to talk about the climate and ecological crisis, which is going to affect them and their lives and everything that they do, the jobs they have, the types of education, how we heat, how we eat, all these things are going to have to change in order to address these issues.
And as a young person, I'd love a politician to be able to answer me the question of how much faith should come into your personal beliefs when you're trying to pass legislation, and how you can reconcile your personal beliefs with your faith while ensuring that you're not sort of forcing your religion on other people, and how do you reconcile those together?
Join the dots together is bringing faiths together around the issues of climate justice and peace.
So in my talk, I was drawing from some of the teachings and writings from the Baha'i faith, my faith, which show that we have to have a regard for the environment, and that this is intertwined with all the other social problems. And then obviously drawing on other world religion scriptures such as Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, etc. And what they have to say about having a regard for the environment as well.
If you're political and religious, why don't you consider scripture teachings like the Decalogue or the Quran for decision making and environmental decisions?
My question to politicians would be, could they have any influence on the priorities that religions have and how they can influence religions to integrate climate change into their teachings?
So I guess the main thing is that we have all these problems around the world, whether they're environmental or social or political. At the basis of all this is basically a disregard for spiritual principles. And because the world has moved away from those teachings of God, we are left with a society that is full of problems. And the only way to overcome those is via coming together as one humanity.
My question is, to what degree do governments focus on subsidising green companies in order to achieve climate goals?
And I've got a question about politics and a bit of economics. Do you think if we change the economic system at the minute, do you think we'd see changes?
And my question is about economics, and if capitalism isn't the way to go, then what is?
My question to the politicians are, how do we advocate from a capitalist society?
Well, many of them don't yet have a vote, although hopefully if it votes at 16 will go through. They certainly do have a voice, and hence the appropriateness in a way of today's session called Our Voices Matter, because solutions can come from talking to young people. You know, they are certainly much more informed and engaged than I was at 16, 17 and 18. And although it sometimes comes across as patronising, young people do give me hope.
My question would be, what long-term plans does the Executive and the Alliance Party specifically, as they hold the ministry, have to deal with the ongoing crisis in Lough Neagh?
To what extent is an understanding of climate change's colonial roots important when you're trying to create effective legislation?
It's been great to hear from the young people, to hear their ideas, the great energy and inspiration that they have for trying to solve the problems we see.
My question to the politicians would be, what can we add to Belfast and our society and make it a more sustainable area?
If there is a United Ireland, what would happen to the hundreds of thousands of people who are on the NHS list? Since there's no NHS down south, what would happen to them all?
My question is, how does grassroots politics play into climate change? This question is specifically for people for profit.
Unfortunately, due to the amber wind warning today, many of the schools had to leave at 11:30 a.m. and we had to move to cancel the politicians. However, we feel it is vitally important. All of the young people's questions have been captured. We have them on record, and we also have a written record of them, and certainly in the future we will find a way to approach the politicians and to put the young people's voices directly to them.